7 key things that a visa officer looks for in a Canadian study permit application. That's what we are going to be covering in today's video, so you want to stick up to the very end, especially if you are looking for a Canadian student visa. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome, karibu. My name is Eva Mtalii and this is Travel with Eva Mtalii, your #1 YouTube channel for all things travel, working abroad, living abroad, and studying abroad. So if any of those topics sound exciting to you, you want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that every single time I shoot a new video, you do not miss out. So without much further ado, let's dive into some of the key things that a visa officer will look out for when they receive your Canadian study permit application. So the #1 thing that the visa officer will check out for when looking at your study visa application is your country of residence. And here they are looking at things like, for example, how politically stable is your country? How economically stable is your country? So if you live in a country that has political instability or economic instability, the visa officer is likely to reject your application, and they would rather give preference to applications from individuals who live in politically stable countries. Unless, of course, your country has current preference, like what is going on in Ukraine right now. Canada actually has a special pathway for people from Ukraine. There's a special pathway for people from Afghanistan, for example, but generally preference is given to those candidates from politically stable countries. The #2 thing that a visa officer will look out for in your Canadian study permit application is whether or not your spouse and your children are accompanying you. So the visa officer will also look at your marital status and whether you have any children. Some international students may try to bring their spouses and children with them to Canada during the duration of their studies. Such applications could work either way. They can increase your chances of being rejected if the IRCC notices that you have a likelihood of wanting to remain in Canada after your studies. But if you have a sound financial backing and the visa officer is convinced that you have enough money to take care of yourself and your children, and there's a clear intent to go back to your home country with your family after finishing your studies in Canada, then you're likely to get your visa approved. The #3 key feature that the visa officer looks out for in your student visa application is your financial situation. The visa officer typically checks your financial situation to make sure that you can pay for your education and living expenses while in Canada. If you have limited funds or a poor financial history, then your application is likely to be rejected. And then #5 key feature that the visa officer will look out for in your Canadian student permit application is previous trips to Canada. The visa officer wants to see if you have visited Canada in the past. Previous visits to Canada will reflect very well on your application because it is a sign to the visa officer that you consider Canada a very suitable location, and that you have previously entered Canada and left at the expiry of your visa. So make sure you do not overstay on your visitor's visa when you get a chance to visit Canada. It enhances your visa application. Last but not least feature that the visa officer will look out for in your Canadian student visa application is whether or not you own property in your country of residence. Your visa officer may check whether you own property in your country of usual residence. And there are several reasons why owning property is considered a good sign. You can obtain additional funds by selling off the property in an emergency. And also, it is a sign that you have a likelihood and a reason to return home at the end of your visa or at the expiry of your study permit. Well guys, that's it for today in terms of those key things that the visa officer will look out for when they receive your Canadian study work permit As usual, if you found this video helpful, then the other feature that the visa officer will look out for is previous visitor visa or study permit applications. The officer will verify whether you have applied for a visitor visa or study permit applications in the past. If you have applied for either of these before and were rejected, the officer may choose to reject your application. This is because past rejections may indicate you filled out your earlier application poorly, or that you weren't considered suitable for entry into Canada, and if they give you a study permit, you may not even decide to leave at the expiry of your work permit, of your study permit. Well guys, that's it for today in terms of the 7 key things that the visa officer looks out for in your Canadian study work permit application. As usual, if you found this video helpful, you want to make sure that you watch the next video in the series, because I am going to be talking about Canadian study permit refusal reasons and possible solutions. Thank you for staying up to the very end of this video. I definitely look forward to meeting you on the next one.